PTA 2 Electric Boogaloo. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. My name is Zach. With me is Andrew, and we're back to talk all things Philly sports. Now that the Eagles are 1-0, I don't think I said that last week, and it drove me nuts in the off season of our podcast right there for a few days. I love the 1-0 as long as you can hold on to it, because you only have it for so long. It's truly an anomaly. But we are 1-0. The Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys. Moving on to week 2, where the Eagles will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. Now, the interesting thing about this is the Chiefs are 0-1. And I'm going to jump right to Andrew to ask him, Andrew, were you expecting the Chiefs to lose to the Chargers?
Yes, I actually did in my pick 'em. I picked the Chargers to win that game. So actually, I thought them going to the Chargers that first game was tough. Justin Herbert's obviously a pretty good quarterback himself, and the Chargers have a good offense, so they were able to contain him a little bit. But yeah, and it's obviously that can happen. When I fixed what I said there, I forgot that was the overseas game there in was it Brazil? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Traveling there. I mean, both teams game the Eagles were in last year against the Packers. So,
yeah, and what is this? This is Jim Harbaugh's second year there.
Yeah,
that's what. I think everyone expected Jim Harbaugh to do well there. It was a matter of, was Herbert going to be his guy or not? And you got to think after that performance. I know Herbert really shined, so I think they really have something special going into this season. It's I'm not going to say scary, but something to keep an eye on for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I wouldn't say scary. There's a lot of teams in that AFC, but they're definitely, I think it's going to be a battle. I think they'll battle the Chiefs for the West. I truly do.
It's pretty funny seeing the Chiefs lose a division game first week. Feels unheard of, feels out of character, feels like a collapse, might I dare say.
I don't know if we can say that yet. See what happens this Sunday.
Speaking of this Sunday, we'll jump back into it. I forget already. I'm going to be editing. So for the listener, if you're listening, I don't know, maybe it's redundant, but the Eagles post-game show will have gone up yesterday on Wednesday, September 10th. This episode is going up Thursday, September 11th. And will be your pre-show for the Philadelphia Eagles playing on Sunday. I don't believe I said the time. It is a 4:30 game. Most likely everyone will be able to watch it. I think most is the keyword there. I think Kansas City has already put themselves in kind of an interesting spot. I think they're I'm not going to call it a week 2 must-win game, but I think if the Eagles win this game, this is a tough year for the Chiefs. And look, just jumping into other things from that Chiefs week 1 game, I think the big thing is injuries. There's major injuries to take away from, especially Travis Kelce hurting their own receiver, Xavier Worthy. I think the bottom line is that the Chiefs are limited at the receiving spot. And while the secondary is the Eagles' weakest link right now, I think the Chiefs' receiving core is their weakest link.
Yeah, no, I agree. First, I'm with you. I only can call a week 2 game a must win, but I will say this: looking ahead to their schedule before, their 3 of the next 5 games, and the 2 I won't mention, which I will in a little bit, are the easier ones, obviously, but Eagles, Ravens, Lions. It's not in order, but that's 3 of their next 5 games. So you arguably, and we talked about when we previewed the Eagles' schedule to start the season, all the coin flip games that the Eagles had. Those are coin flip games for the Chiefs, where hypothetically, now that you lost to the Chargers, they could drop those 3 games, and that's already 4 losses in the season, the first 6 games. If that was to happen. The other 2 games are the Giants and Jaguars, both on the road, but you still expect them to take care of business against them. But again, to your point, you can't call a must win week 2, but I will say with that schedule, you know they're going to be going extra this game because you don't know which one of those games because you're more likely than not going to win all 3 of those games against those 3 top tier teams. But
I think what's interesting about their schedule for the first, you said 4 or 5 weeks, like to have the Chiefs playing, if I'm remembering those teams correctly already, 2 NFC teams so quickly, so early in their schedule. Like, sure, the Eagles are playing the Chiefs, but it's a Super Bowl rematch. So, like, again, I'm not surprised they're playing us, we're playing them. However, I just double checked and I didn't see offhand us playing another AFC team for quite a bit. Whereas you have them playing the Eagles and the Lions in their opening weeks.
yeah, no, it's
It
it's
essentially
good.
makes their game at Baltimore or against Baltimore. I don't know which it was. I kind of think that's a pretty important win for them. I won't call it a must win, but when you have those AFC games coming later, like that, they have to win in their division.
Yeah.
You know,
And I didn't really mention them because it's the easier one of the games, but 3 of the first 6 are NFC teams: the Eagles, Giants, and Lions. So yeah, it's
the
an interesting
Chiefs are
spot. But
playing the Giants.
yeah, the week after us, so they got the Eagles on the 14th and the Giants on the 21st.
Do you have these schedules memorized?
No, I had it up when I was looking at who they
He's
had
just
next.
that good. The stats are there.
Yeah.
Um,
But no, yeah. So to go back to the other point there about their offense and the receivers, it is, and I truly believe Worthy, even though he's young, I think he is their best receiver. They
yeah,
have other guys there
definitely.
like Hollywood Brown, who's very quick. He can spread the field. Go watch out for the deep ball. Obviously, Mahomes loves to do. And then they got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's been there or been in the NFL for a while from the Steelers. Now he's with the Chiefs, so he's a guy you can't take lightly. I think yes, his better years are behind him, but he's a guy you still got to look out for. And hopefully, yeah, it's the secondary that we'll see what happens. And I know we'll get on our defense here in a little bit, but I mean, they announced that Dory Jackson is going to be the starter again. So that's an interesting thing there. And he's going to be lined up with them. So we'll see what happens when it comes Sunday. But you expect Mitchell to go on Brown, and then Jackson's going to be on Smith Schuster.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised about that. I mean, we did trade for Jackson, and I'm not worried about what we traded away. But it was an effort to get him. I think it would be crazy to just call it quits on him after week 1. We've talked about multiple times how week 1 is a glorified preseason. Week 2 kind of is that too, I think. Um, I just think that would be crazy to quit on someone this early. Like even the
I
I'll
think
I'll
they
I'll
quit
go
on
to
him.
the
I just thought they might
Giants.
switch it, the playing
Okay,
time.
like the Giants, like being all. Is it the Giants? Yeah, the Giants being all Russell Wilson's still our starter. Like, yeah, because it was week 1. Like, I just, I don't know. Like, I think there are things to learn from week 1, such as secondary being weak for the Eagles. But like, I don't think it's anything to overreact about yet.
No, for sure. Again, yeah, I thought the Eagles might mix it up a little bit and have Jackson come off the bench, I guess you could say. I thought maybe they'd move DeJean up into that spot there, into that more of a. But they want to keep Cooper DeJean in the nickel spot, which I get. So I just thought they might do some shuffling around, which would make him not quote unquote the starter, but still see a lot of snaps. But I thought Ja'Cory Bennett might get that actual starting nod.
Since the Dallas game ended, Howie went and made 2 major additions, and that was literally on Friday, the day after the game. He goes and signs Zadarius Smith, defensive end, and then yesterday, on Monday, September 8th, he went and traded for Tank Bigsby, a running back. I think the bigger of the two here is Zadarius Smith. I think it's the Tank Bigsby one is more interesting. I think it speaks to how hurt Will Shipley probably is my assumption there. But let's first talk to Zadarius Smith, Andrew, and how you feel about that addition.
Yeah, I love the addition, and that's what you have to love about Howie is they recognize okay our rush was a little weak, and they felt even if Jalen Carter was out there, it was going to be a little weak. That's still them picturing that far ahead as we were missing one of our best defender, and they still kind of saw the future and okay, this is an area a problem. And let's go get a veteran player that's been around the NFL for a while, that's been on a handful of contending teams, and he's sitting there because of money issues. And they're like, you know what? We're just going to go get it done. So I love the pickup because I know he's an older guy, and that's some of the negatives I'm hearing about him. But with this team and the other guys around him, it's all going to become a rotation with the Eagles, and it's going to allow them to limit the snaps around those guys and let them get in a groove and really, feel their way into the system and become that much more elite because they'll recognize their snap count there. So I think it's a really good pickup and a tremendous move by Howie Roseman and the Eagles, and I think it's going to go a long way. And I think this guy, again, he's been on contending teams. He's an older player, so he's going to put that extra effort in to try to go out with one more chance here at a ring. So I like it. I think it's a great move, and it's only going to help this defense.
And then Tank Bigsby added to the team again less than 24 hours ago. Comes from Jacksonville. Doesn't really get a lot of touches, but I think he did get some week one. Yep, looks like he did. I think he's going to be a number 2 here. Like, I don't think there's an issue with Saquon. I think that's pretty fair. And yeah, he was what the only it was Hurts and Saquon that was the tanks of last week's game. So don't think it's anything to do with Barkley. I think it truly is. Shipley is more injured than we kind of realize right now. So he's listed just injured with ribs issues. I don't think we have any more information, but Andrew, let me know if is it fractured. So
Yes.
Shipley's definitely going down. So down with the Shipley.
He's going down.
So hey, I don't really know too much about Bigsby to bring him on, but that's how he's getting ready. We had a injury and he stepped right in. Andrew, thoughts on that addition?
Yeah, I love this addition too. It's again Hallie active, moving quickly. He realized we don't know how long Shipley's going to be out. Obviously, a rib is going to be a short term thing, so you expect him to miss at least one, if not probably more than that, close to 3 or 4 maybe. And then you also got to realize too, Shipley was big on the special teams, so that's where this Tank Bigsby move helps this team as well because they see him as a quick guy. He's going to be the kick returner, and they realize the new kickoff rules you saw in week 1 across the league allowed teams to run the ball return the kick more often than not, actually, than rather than having a lot of touchbacks. So that's another move how I wanted to act on quickly. He realized, okay, let's get better at this position. And you know what? It adds to the running back depth chart. If Shipley is out, now you have a really good mix still of Saquon Barkley, obviously. A.J. Dillon had a couple good runs there in the opening week. And when you get Will Shipley back, it's going to be a very good 4 running back room. I really like Shipley. It's a shame to see him go down here. I like him in the passing game.
This was his second year, right?
Yes. Yep. Second year out of Clemson. So again, he's a quick guy. He kind of reminds me of Darren Sproles a little bit. He's a smaller guy. He can go out there on a pass, run the wheel route, and take off from there. And you saw it a couple times in the Cowboys game before he left with the injury. He took a couple carries and had a couple good receptions. And hopefully it's something you can come back from quick. But I really like the Bigsby move because, again, it keeps this running back depth chart where you need it to be, especially, they talked about mixing in some more runs for other guys to keep Saquon more healthier too, just because of how much he workload wise last year. So I think it helps in that category as well. And maybe even see them do a couple 2-down back situations. So this opens up a lot of doors. And let me say this too. I think Hallie expects it because you know how much Hallie loves the draft picks, and you're not trading two draft picks for a guy you're not planning on using. And it's a 5th and 6th rounder, 2 picks on day 3, which we know the Eagles have been all over the last few years trying to add talent on day 3. And, people I was reading, say they gave up 2 picks. Well, they still have 10 picks in the next year's draft, even after this trade. So right. I don't think we're losing out on the draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on Bigsby is I think the right move. You said it, so I won't harp too much on it. But so moving on to the actual game again, Eagles going to Kansas City Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time game. I tweeted about this, so make sure you're following me on Twitter at @the_Philly Gamer if you're not already. But if you listen to our schedule, went before the season thinking, yeah, Eagles are going to lose this game. It's in Kansas City revenge factor. I have completely 180'd, and I don't know if it's the hype of beating the Cowboys getting to me, but I think the Eagles are going to win this game now, and I truly think it's a combination between the Chiefs being not at 100%. I think it's the Eagles playing well enough to beat the Cowboys the way they did without Jalen Carter. Now you go into Kansas City with a Jalen Carter stacked defense, as well as the team that was able to beat them last year. Um, you, I don't know about you, Andrew, but I gotta assume AJ Brown's gonna have himself a game this week. Maybe not, but like, kind of think it's gonna happen. I feel like everything's pointing in the Eagles' direction right now. I'm gonna pull up here real quick because I just had it up and I already pulled it down. The spread is -1 Philadelphia. And for the Eagles to be favorites at all in an away stadium, let alone in Kansas City, I I think the world's kind of cheering for us on this one.
Yeah, and you saw it open up at Chiefs -1, so it's already switched to the Eagles' favor. And I mean, listen, it's based off of a lot of Week 1 performances. We know what happened last year, obviously in the Super Bowl, but I mean, it's time to I think throw that behind us going into this game, and I think they're just flat out on paper too. The Eagles have the better roster. I mean, I think that goes without saying. The Eagles have the better wide receiving core. I think everyone would take our top two receivers over their number one receiver. Our running back room's better. I think you probably still obviously go Mahomes over Hurts, but top to bottom, still, I mean, the Eagles got the better offensive line. The Eagles have the better defense. So, again, I think I hear what you're saying, and I was with you. I picked the Chiefs as well. But I keep going back and forth on this game. It's going to be a battle. I don't think it's going to be what happened last year. I think it's going to be a true back and forth type game, a game that's going to be within one score most of the way. So I think the Eagles do have their hands full. And, you're going into Arrowhead, and they're looking for revenge too. So it's going to be an interesting case. But I expect Jalen Carter to come out with some energy in this game. I think he's getting at least a sack, if not two, in this one.
That's what I said to someone today. I was like, "When do you what quarter do you think Jalen Carter gets the sack?" And my friend Kevin predicted second quarter. So I think if it's going to happen, I think it's going to be as early as the first quarter. Yeah, I think if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, which is fine. Don't assume a sack from any player. But if I think it's going to happen, it's going to be. I think it's going to be like first thing, bright and early, kind of a thing.
It's either going to be gets it out of the way early, or you're not going to hear from him all game, and he's going to make the big play at the end to seal a win. It's going to be one of those two.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Well, I can't tell you the future, so yeah.
Andrew, anything else you want to say predictions wise? I don't really have too much else to add. Like I said, I think the big things to look at here is AJ Brown. I like that I haven't heard any negative things this week so far. It is only Tuesday during this recording, but I feel like this time last year, there's all these stories coming out that AJ Brown's either a bum or AJ Brown must be, causing a fire in the locker room or something. Like the fact that we're here right now and none of that's happening, I think is a good sign.
Are you worried, I guess,
Yes,
this on the spot here? After preseason, there's all the talk about his hamstring and stuff. Are you worried at all that his injury is still lingering and they're just kind of throwing him out there as a decoy and he's not 100% and that's why, they're actually not even, I'm not going to say they're just ignoring him, but he's not their number one, I guess I should say.
So I don't think it's so much a decoy. I think it's he wants to be out there. I kind of think it's similar to, speaking of, is Dickerson expected to be in this week?
I think he's questionable. I haven't heard.
Because a lot of people were pointing out Dickerson returned, which we were all super excited for, but he didn't look his best. And it was almost to the point of you look like you're in pain. You should have just sat out this game.
It's week 1. Get ready for the Super Bowl.
That's, I mean, I hate to say, but kind of, yeah. Not literally the Super Bowl, but there's a lot of season left. don't make a sprain a tear because you're playing through it. That's
Exactly.
the thing, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's a very similar thing right now to AJ Brown. So when I speak on, I think he's going to have himself a game. That's assuming he is, I don't know, 85+% okay. Like I think there's definitely something lingering regardless. It's a matter of how badly. Um, and I don't want to not give an answer. And I feel like I've already committed to him doing well. So I think I'm going to stick to that. But I also feel like this is similar to kind of what we were just saying about sacks. If if AJ Brown is in so much pain that he's not going to play well, I think we're going to see another like one reception game. And again, while I love like head coaching chess in football, I don't think that's the goal. I think it's Brown wants to be out there.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. You gotta be careful with it. I mean, not to cross sports, but like Turner, I mean, I think that's what happened to Trey Turner. He saw them bench him on Saturday. That guy hasn't missed really a game all season, and I think that was partially what happened is they let him rest on Saturday, and then he wanted to get it back out Sunday, and then you see him mess up his hamstring, and
Yeah.
now look. I mean, hopefully, obviously, he's back for the playoffs, but similar to that, I mean, it's this. I think it's Brown. I think it was Brown's hamstring, maybe it was just groin, but one of the two. There, so yeah, to that point, like you got to make sure it's ready because if that's something that's going to keep lingering all season, so you want to make sure that's right. So hopefully, yeah. No, I was kind of worried about it still because there's talks about him missing that first game, and then you're hearing about that's kind of more to your point. I've not heard anything about AJ Brown being unhappy. It's more been that all week. In the early
It's
part of the
almost
week, is he
the
healthy or is he just forcing himself out there?
and that's the thing, right? It's almost been eerily silent is the thing.
Yeah,
It's almost been
that's what worries
uncomfortably
me.
silent. Yeah. And it's a combination of like is he not speaking because he knows he's injured, which is possible.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's yeah. I don't like the silence, especially in this day and age.
And he's
Um,
the chatterbox of the team, dude. Like when
yeah,
you think of our core players, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is a duo, but Devontae Smith isn't the ringleader. It's AJ Brown, you know? Like
all right,
it's
he's more of a reader.
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, I say yes. That was a layup, and you got your shot. Uh, all right, let's move it on because I'll say I'm also not super concerned because we have such good players and like with the extra use of Goddard in last week's game, like I think we have other weapons available that we can still have the Eagles win against the Kansas City Chiefs. That again becomes more of a long-term concern, is my opinion on that matter.
Yeah, and then to your point, I mean, I guess one of my final things is watch out for Landon Dickerson. Like, if he's not 100% again, they got really good D line, starting with Chris Jones. I mean, he's been around the league for a while. He's won some awards. So between yeah, mainly Chris Jones, I mean, he's a guy to look out for to get the hurts, and hopefully, if they're obviously the Chiefs are smart enough, they'll try to line Jones up where the Eagles' weakness is, and if it's going to be an unhealthy Landon Dickerson, then that's where you'll see Jones. So the Eagles got to be ready for that. Obviously, they know that too, game planning. So it's going to be a battle up front on the lines as well. So it's going to be a big situation here.
I think I just bit my tongue while I sneezed off screen. That is the weirdest ow I've ever had. So anyway, um, Andrew, anything else before we give our score predictions and wrap it up here?
No, it's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl rematch, and yeah, hopefully it's these two. Hopefully, Eagles take care of business.
Oh, we talked about it, but we technically didn't really address Jalen Carter is going to play, is not suspended. Like
Yeah,
the
you said he was playing.
we talked about him playing, but I'll just kind of briefly say the ruling came out that he was suspended for a game and that was served week 1. I also saw no mention of any other fines. Did
Oh,
you?
yeah. It was like 60,000.
Okay.
It was actually a good. It was actually good for a fine. Like
I
I
mean,
think
I gotta say, like his week 1 suspension, quote unquote, was without pay. So I mean, right there, you're getting while you're not directly getting fined, you're
true.
losing X amount of money. Like that's hitting itself. So anyway, all right. So
57.
I was wrong on
57
that.
is the exact number.
What was it?
57,000, not 60.
That's such a weird. Why wouldn't you just round it to 55 or 50 or 60?
If you want to get weirder, I'll read you the exact number: 57,222. So
Are you serious?
my guess is something based off his contract.
It's got to be a
like
contract thing, yeah, for sure. Contract taxes, some weird specific number, yeah. Anyway, all right. So
real quick, not to go in too much.
let's do it.
I just find it weird. Like, I mean, it works out for us as Eagles fans that it counts, but to me, it's not a game suspension. I get he's ejected and missed the game. I personally think that's I don't know.
I think that might be the first anti-Eagles thing you've ever said ever, and that's
well, it's not really anti-Eagles. It's more anti-NFL. Like coming off weak here, in my opinion. Like if you're gonna suspend the guy, suspend him. Like he still dressed up for the game. He did his act in the game. I don't think that day. I don't know. Although I don't know. Again, it works out for the Eagles, so I'm happy for it. But
if I had to guess, again, there's a lot of chatter online about internally at the Eagles them taking care of this. If I had to guess, Howie and or Jeffrey Lurie reached out to whoever they needed to reach out to at the NFL front offices and were like, look, you want the Super Bowl rematch to be a show. He already served one game. We'll take care of it. Fine his ass. Don't let him miss the Chiefs game. Like I think they sweet talked the NFL basically.
No, they would have.
It'll be interesting. I am curious if the Hard Knocks is going to cover it because that's supposed to start, isn't it?
Yeah, I forget. They're doing a lot of teams this year. I forget. They're doing the whole NFC East. I don't know I forget when the Eagles week is, to be honest.
It might be out of a job depending on how good it is. I don't know. Anyway, let's get those scores going. So, Philadelphia Eagles at Kansas City. Kansas City's first home game. I do think they do well. It's week 2. Our defense is still on the weaker side compared to other things. I'm going to come out, but I am changing. I am changing my preseason opinion. So I'm going to say Eagles win. I'm going to go with 27-24.
Yeah, I think it's a good score. And with Worthy being out, to your point, the Eagles have a better chance here. Carter's back out there on the defensive line. Expect a big game from him. Again, I keep going back and forth to this, but I'm with you. I'm going to switch as well. I think when it's all said and done, the Eagles' pass rush is going to be too much for. I mean, we saw how good the Eagles can shut down Kelsey. We saw, and I think you'll see a lot of that again with the Eagles linebackers still there, and Zach Bond and Campbell stepping up big last week, and with Worthy being out, you really got to focus on Hollywood Brown. That's really it on their receiving core. So I think the Eagles will come out and get the job done as well. I'll go 31-23.
Pretty high score. There you go, folks. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Philly Sports Now, a Philly fan podcast. You can find us on social media. Links are in the description below. Make sure you're following us on Spotify. And please, if you like what you are hearing, make sure you share with your friends, family, and just everyone around the corner. Go Birds, everyone. So thank you, everyone, for listening to Philly Sports Now. And as always, go Birds. Good night.